Welcome to 2 Sports. In conversation with us today is a former India cricketer, a renowned coach, a very popular name here in India, Mr. WV Raman, who will talk to us about this current crop of Indian cricketers, the Test series against England, away from home, and everything cricket. Welcome to the show, Coach, and thank you for taking out time for us.
Thank you, Sal. And it's nice to be on your show. And thanks for having me on it.
Coach, first things first, how do you look up to the series against England? 5 tests, not an easy place to tour. We haven't won a lot. Came close the last time around, but it has been a long wait to put our hands on that trophy, which will now be called the Tendulkar Anderson Trophy. So your thoughts on how the series is kind of shaping up and building up, so to say?
It's a good thing it's a 5 test series because the side can come back. Whichever side lags at the start of the series can come back. So that's the advantage of a 5 test series. And for a young side like this Indian side, with a new captain, new vice captain, just about everything being new there, the 5 test series is ideal. And of course, as far as the change of the trophy's name is concerned, that's up to the administrators. We got to try and get on with it. I'm sure that it'll be a very exciting series, this one.
Coach, you just mentioned new a couple of times there, new captain, new vice captain. I'll come to everything in detail, but to start with Shubman Gill, young, still a work in progress as far as Test cricket and Test batting is concerned. You yourself have been a big fan of red ball cricket, and it's not a secret anymore. How do you look at Shubman Gill, the Test batter, the Test captain? I know there's no sample size to gauge him as a Test captain yet, but Test batter, we have seen him in Australia, we have seen him slightly in England, and we have seen a lot of him here in India. So what are your thoughts on Shubman Gill, the Test batter, and do you think he's ready for that challenge? Because you have been associated with the NCA for over a decade now, more than that now, and you have seen these kids actually growing up and taking up the charge of the senior team.
Now, whatever we've seen of Shubman Gill in Test cricket, he has given you the confidence that he's capable of performing in that format as well. He did get useful runs in the tough, hard-fought series in Australia. Of course, England can always test the best batters, but again, that was at the start of his career. And we have a Shubman Gill here who's seen a lot of things already, even though he's 25. He's got a lot of experience. He's been around for a while with the Indian team. He's been playing different formats. And he's also developed that sense of accepting responsibility and dealing with responsibility by virtue of becoming the captain of the franchisee side in the IPL. So it's all a matter of him bringing into play the learnings that he's had over a period of time. And for a young captain, what is important is the kind of support that he gets in terms of inputs from the other experienced members in the side. And of course, to just repeat the cliche, a captain is only as good as his team. A young captain needs his team to measure up, raise the bar, and perform together. That's when a young captain will probably be capable of overcoming the challenges on a tough tour such as this.
You just mentioned two very interesting points there. The support he gets, and a captain is as good as the team. First, I'll get to the team bit. Squad, a lot of time since the squad has been announced, it's already assembled in England. They've had quite a few practice sessions. We'll be having an intra-squad game before the first test gets underway. What were your initial thoughts on the squad? You think it has ticked the right boxes? Why I ask the right boxes? Because there could be a situation where India could be without Jasprit Bumrah. The timing of that move is not certain yet, depends on his workload and how the body reacts. You reckon we have all bases covered when it comes to Bumrah's absence, or probably the middle order which lacks the experience which was there in our previous tours?
Fast bowling, yes, we tick the boxes. Spinners, yes, we tick the boxes. And even batting, maybe one half of it. The other half is suggestive from me that it's not got the ability. It's just that the other half will depend on the slot that is provided to the batters, that's given to the batters, and the role allocation. I think that is what it will depend on. It depends on who bats on which number, and also who it is that they want to be a part of this batting unit will be very important. Because we got the likes of Ishwaran and Karun Nair who almost forced their way into the side by sheer weight of their runs over a period of time. Now, the question is the level of confidence that the team management has on these two to give them the chances first up in the series.
Understood. So, sir, you just mentioned about the roles and the positions where they would be batting. Now, a lot of debate is already underway when it comes to Shubman Gill's batting position. I'll take you through to the chronology, and I'm sure you know it better than me because you track domestic cricket, you track international cricket like it's nobody's business. You are on the ball. So, Shubman starting out as a top order batter for the Indian cricket team, opening there, moving down to one drop. He himself requested Rahul Dravid and company, who were in charge of this team before Gambhir and company took over, and now there are suggestions that number 4 could be his future position now that Virat Kohli has stepped away from the format. You have seen a lot of Shubman Gill, you have analysed a lot of his game. You reckon number 4 is the right spot for him, or he should continue being the number 3 because this side is slightly thin on experience as far as batting is concerned?
First of all, I'd like to know why it is that everybody is suggesting that Shubman Gill should bat at 4. Is it because he is the best suited to bat at number 4, or is it because that he is looking at batting at number 4? We need to be clear on that. It's a lot of difference as to why somebody needs a position and why somebody has to be looked at for a particular position. He's done well at the top of the order. He's always played at the top of the order right from his younger days. And he's the kind of player who likes the ball to come on to him. And he's also a kind of player, if he has a few runs under his belt, once he has a few runs under his belt, then the spinners will find it very difficult to bowl at him. How is he going to handle the spinners when there's a bit of deviation of the surface, starting or playing at number 4? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. He does have the technique, but the point is, all these years he's been used to playing the quickest of bowlers first and then attacking the spinners once he's set. And I, for one, would believe when you have all other options which are really not really well settled, you would want a captain primarily to go at the top of the order and say, okay, boys, it doesn't matter what kind of situation we are in, I'm the one who's going to lead the way for you. And that's the kind of message he's got to give the team as a captain going at the top of the order, the way I look at it. It may not happen, he may even still go at number 4, but that's a different thing altogether. I, for one, would like to see him bat in the top 3.
And where does that leave Sai Sudarshan then? He has been in red hot form. I'm not mixing formats here, coach, but he is riding that recency bias, has looked very compact, inspires confidence for his county outings, and the way he has modelled his game to be very correct. Do you reckon he could get a look in during this tour?
Now, let's not forget that Ishwaran has been getting runs much ahead of him over a long period of time. We've been having Ishwaran as a part of the squad. We are not playing him, and that is again creating a lot of dilemma when the next selection comes up. Yeah. We'll have to try and reward him fully, in the sense that there's no point picking him in the squad. We don't have let's say a player who's opened in the past who's willing to open. There's a vacant slot at the top of the order, and here you have, on the other hand, you have a player who's been opening right through his life, who's got runs every season almost, and then you pick him in the squad when there's an opening slot which is vacant. You don't use him. I think we need to first answer that particular bit. Again, we got somebody who's making a comeback after a long period of time. Yep. And then he's not a spring onion now. He's into his 30s, he's experienced, he's also in the best of form. He should be batting at 4. Now, we need to first understand one thing here, whether we are going to give slots to names or whether we are going to get people who are the actual absolute fit for the slot.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Opposite we are going to do things is what we need to see. Yes, all this could be conjectures. All the things that we've been hearing of could be, floated around by people who are not aware of what is going on. But I'm sure that the team management will take cognizance of the fact that it's not only a case of fitting in a few guys in certain slots, it's also a case of who fits the slot. I think that's something Gauti will definitely have a look at. I'm sure that he's not going to just blindly do things and then go by numbers.
Understood, coach. In the last couple of questions, I'll come to Gautam Gambhir towards the end. The final question will be on Gambhir. But last bit, you just mentioned Karun Nair, someone who is coming back on good run in the domestic circuit, found his kind of second wind. did well in the IPL on a couple of occasions, at the recency bias going double 100 for the India A setup. But then one player who continues to slip under the radar, coach, is KL Rahul. He kind of starts a series in very, very emphatic fashion, but then kind of tapers off. That's what happened in Australia. Everyone expected him to have a bumper series, but towards the end, it kind of just tapered off, and you just couldn't get that 500, 600 run series you want KL Rahul to have for the potential and the quality he has as a batter. How important are these 9 tests going to be for KL Rahul? I'm talking about 5 away from home and then 4 at home, because this could well establish and help him realize the potential we all want him to realize.
Yeah, this has also happened on his last tour of England. He started off well and then he tapered down, and this is something that has happened. We all know that. But again, still, the fact of the matter is that he is experienced, he's got runs, he's capable of runs, he gives you the impression that he can get runs. So, he also is aware of the fact that he needs to step up as far as consistency is concerned. Now, the matter is very straightforward. You play him in the first 3 test matches, you see how he goes about it. Obviously, if he does well, you'll continue him. And then he's got to be told, yes, we are very well aware of the fact that you're talented, you've performed in all the 3 formats. Now the time has come for you to up it in terms of consistency. And a message has to be conveyed to him. And that's the way to go about it. Failing which, you are anyway in a transition period. You got to try and look for other options.
No, now just coming to the last bit, coach Gautam Gambhir, his predecessors Rahul Dravid, Ravi Shastri, they went to England. Rahul played England at home, tasted success against the baseball model on pitches which were more suited for us. Ravi Shastri came very close to winning that series, which was interrupted, and then India didn't end up winning the series they actually should have, considering the squad we had. Now, coach Gautam Gambhir, you have 3 stalwarts of the game not in the dressing room anymore. I'll not discuss and debate the kind of exits they had, whether it was right, whether that was wrong. I think that's already, a lot has been written and said already about it. Let's not kind of speak too much on it. Ravichandran Ashwin, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma will no longer be in that dressing room. Gautam Gambhir, everyone is saying that this will be Gautam Gambhir's team now more than it would be Shubman Gill's. What do you make of that, coach, and how important is this an assignment for Gautam Gambhir? And you reckon that he could well go in with nothing to lose? यार पुराने वाले भी नहीं जीत के आए, अगर मैं ड्रॉ भी करके आ गया तो कौन सा बड़ा बात है? Something on those lines. Would it be going in his head? Because you have worked with Gambhir, the batter, you know him probably better than most because you have worked with him extensively when he was still playing.
I think it'll be good for everybody if people realize that the coach has to be in the background. It's not all about the coach all the time. Yes, we all know Gambhir is a good tactician. He's also a very intense man. And he's also got the best interest of the team at heart. So we got to try and forget the fact that everything should be related to the coach. We didn't do this with his predecessors. We are doing it with him, if you remember. So coach is always somebody who's got to stay in the background. We should allow the coach to do his job. And he's obviously going to take all the decisions based on how he sees things, because he's the one who is completely aware of what is exactly happening with each and every individual in the side. And then as far as this team is concerned, this will always be a team under the title of a captain who is successful. People are not calling this the Rohit's team until he started succeeding as a captain in white ball cricket. The same happened with Virat in red ball cricket. So it gets dubbed as the captain's team when he starts doing well, when he stays put for a long period of time as a captain. But as far as this particular team is concerned, even though there's a lot of apprehensions about how this series will pan out, I for one think this team is in the same situation as Dhoni's team when they embarked on the first T20 World Cup. There are no expectations. So that is a big advantage for this side. That's a real big advantage for this side. And they have everything to gain. The only way is up. And I think therein lies this team to spring a surprise. Because let's not forget that even though India has not won many series in England, we've always sprung a lot of surprises there. Starting from Chandra's spell and Ajit Parekhar's series win in 71, India has sprung a surprise or two always in England.
Before I let you go, I'll put you in a spot there, as I always like to do. Your prediction for the series, coach. Who's winning this one and by what scoreline?
All I would like to see this team do is to play good cricket. I am not a great fan of this numbers game.
But that's a diplomatic answer, coach. You gotta give me a scoreline.
Pragmatic answer. You always put people in a spot. You always put people in a spot. I always give pragmatic answers.
I'll leave it there, coach. I wouldn't push you further. And thank you so much for taking out time for us. And I'm sure you'll be on commentary duties during the India-England Test series. And will be lovely to hear your views as always, coach. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks a lot. Have fun.